They fell from heaven, 200 angels with one forbidden desire. What they created would force God to destroy the world. The Watchers were sent to guide humanity toward righteousness. Their commander, Hahya, led them into betrayal instead. They looked upon human women and wanted them. They took wives for themselves. The children born from these unions were not human. They were the Nephilim, giants, living catastrophes with a hunger that never stopped. They devoured the earth's harvests within months. Then the livestock vanished into their mouths. Wild animals were next. When nothing remained, they turned on humanity itself. Entire villages disappeared in single nights. The giants enslaved thousands to feed their endless appetites, even bred horrors with beasts, and taught mankind the dangerous secrets of warfare, sorcery, and the forging of weapons. The earth had never seen anything like them. It never would again. Among them walked Gilgamesh, the Babylonian hero whose epic predates the Bible by 1,000 years. The Book of Giants names him as one of the Nephilim. The ancient myths were memories of real monsters. But 3 giants matter most to this story. Their names were Ohya, Hahya, and Mahway. Without them, we would know nothing about what the Nephilim thought or felt as their world collapsed around them. Ohya was the firstborn son of Hahya himself. This made him royalty among monsters. Proud, aggressive, quick to anger. He had never lost a fight and believed he never would. When other giants whispered about strange omens in the sky, Ohya laughed at them. His father commanded the Watchers. What power in heaven or on earth could possibly touch the firstborn son of Hahya? His brother Hahya was different entirely, quieter, more watchful. He noticed patterns others missed, movements in the stars, strange silences before storms. The dreams found Hahya first, and he did not laugh them away. Then there was Mahway, son of the angel Raphael. He stood outside Hahya's bloodline entirely. Massive even among giants, with hands broad as eagle wings and a voice that could crack stone. The others called him the Titan. He kept to himself mostly, but when the nightmares began, the giants would need him more than anyone else alive. The visions came without any warning. Hahya dreamed of a garden filled with 200 great trees. Gardeners watered them with care. Then fire fell from the sky while water rose from below. When both finally subsided, only 3 small shoots remained from the entire forest. Everything else had burned or drowned. Ohya dreamed he stood in heaven's throne room. Angels surrounded him on all sides, pointing and laughing. He tried to speak, but found he had no voice. He woke screaming and refused to sleep again for 3 full days. Mahway's vision was the worst of all. He saw an enormous stone tablet covered with names carved in endless rows. Every giant, every watcher, thousands of entries. Then the tablet sank beneath black water. It stayed submerged for what felt like years. When it finally surfaced, the stone was blank except for 3 names he did not recognize. The giants gathered at dawn to share what they had seen. Nothing like this had ever happened to them before, dreams that felt more real than waking life. Visions that lingered behind their eyes even in bright daylight. The meaning seemed obvious but remained unthinkable. Divine judgment was coming and almost none of them would survive it. They needed an interpreter. Someone who understood the heavenly signs. Someone with access to knowledge forbidden to everyone else on earth. One man fit that description. His name was Enoch and he walked with God. The giants begged Mahway to find him. Only the Titan had the strength for such a journey. Across the inhabited lands, over the great desert of desolation where nothing lived, to wherever the old scribe had hidden himself from the violence now spreading across the earth. Mahway agreed. He rose into the sky on winds that answered his voice. The ancient fragments describe him flying with hands stretched forward like eagle wings, crossing territories where no giant had ever traveled. The desert below him stretched empty to every horizon. He flew until his arms ached. He flew for days. He found Enoch at the edge of the world. The scribe was old and small and unafraid. He listened to everything Mahway told him. The dreams, the symbols, the terror spreading through the giant camps. Then Enoch turned away and consulted tablets only he could read. When he finished, he wrote a message on a fresh leaf and handed it to the Titan in silence. Mahway could not read. But he watched Enoch's face as the old man wrote, and what he saw there told him everything. The message held no comfort, no hope, no escape. He carried it back to his people anyway. What else could he do? What that tablet contained would shatter them all. Enoch's tablet arrived like a funeral announcement. The giants gathered in the shadow of a great mountain to hear its contents read aloud. What they learned ended any hope they had left. The message began with cold formality. In the name of God, the Great and Holy One, to Hahya and all his companions. Then came the verdict. Let it be known that you will not escape judgment. Your wives, their sons, and the wives of their sons will not escape. By your wickedness upon the earth, judgment has been decreed against you. The land itself is crying out and complaining about you and the deeds of your monstrous children. The harm you have done to this world cannot be undone by any power that exists. Some giants wept openly when they heard these words. Others sat in stunned and terrible silence, unable to speak or move. Ohya did neither. He stood and pointed at the sky and shouted that none of this was his fault. This doom is for Azazel, he argued, not for us. Azazel was the angel who taught humanity to forge weapons and make war. He showed women how to paint their faces and seduce men into corruption. He touched everything and ruined it. Surely the blame belonged to him alone. But the tablet made no such distinctions. The sentence covered all of them without any exception. Gilgamesh spoke next, the ancient hero, the king of legend, the slayer of monsters and men. His words survive in the fragments that scholars have managed to piece together over the many years since their discovery. "I am a giant," he said. "By the strength of my arm I have made war against mortals, but I cannot stand against my opponents who reside in heaven. They dwell in holy places far beyond my reach. They are stronger than I am." This was the moment the giants finally understood their true position. They had terrorized humanity for generations. They had consumed entire nations. They had shaken the earth with their footsteps, and none of it mattered at all. Against the armies of heaven, they were nothing. But Enoch's message contained one unexpected element, a door left open by the smallest fraction. Loosen the bonds binding you to evil and prey. Even after everything they had done, God offered a narrow path to repentance. The giants who had eaten human flesh, who had taught mankind to sin, who had filled the earth with violence and corruption beyond measure. Even they could ask for mercy if they truly meant it. Whether any of them tried, the fragments do not say. What they do record is what happened next. 4 archangels descended from heaven: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Israel. They came not to negotiate or deliver any warnings. They came to execute the judgment that had been pronounced from on high. The battle was not a contest. The watchers were seized and bound in chains of utter darkness, dragged down to pits beneath the earth where they would wait until the final day of reckoning. The giants were cut down where they stood, thousands of them. The sons and grandsons of fallen angels, destroyed in a single devastating campaign that scoured the earth clean of their presence. Then came the flood. The waters rose over every mountain. Every creature that walked or crawled upon the earth drowned beneath the rising waves. Only Noah and his family survived, sealed inside the ark that God had commanded him to build. The tablet Mahway seen in his vision came true in every detail. 3 names remained on the stone, everyone else was erased. But the Book of Giants reveals something the Bible never stated directly. The spirits of the dead giants did not simply vanish when their bodies drowned. According to ancient tradition, these disembodied beings became the demons that plague humanity to this day. The Nephilim died in the flood, but their evil survived in a different form. This detail explains why the text mattered so much to the people who preserved it. The Essenes at Qumran believed they were living in the last days. They saw themselves as soldiers in a cosmic war between light and darkness. Knowing where demons came from was essential to fighting them. The Book of Giants spread far beyond Israel. The prophet Mani made it central to his religious system in the 3rd century. His followers carried copies across Persia, through Central Asia, all the way to China. Fragments have been found in 6 ancient languages, scattered across thousands of miles. Why was this text kept out of the Bible? Because it raised uncomfortable questions. Angels capable of rebellion and lust, giants born from the union of heaven and earth, evil with cosmic origins that predated human sin. These ideas did not fit neatly into the version of history that religious authorities wanted to preserve, so they buried it, but not deep enough. The giants are gone, the waters receded long ago, but the story endures, waiting for those willing to hear what the ancients had to say about how evil entered the world and what it cost to wash it away.